Hello everyone! I am super excited today to be able to show off the sorting system that I've been working on for over a year. Um, every time I think I'm done with the design, it gets faster, it gets more compact, it gets easier to build. I'm really happy with where it is right now. I can't actually think of any ways that I can really make this design better. Hopefully somebody out there with a better redstone mind than me can, but this is what I've got today, and I think it's really good. Um, I do believe that the advantages of this system right here will make it the future of sorting systems. So if that's not the case, I'm going to feel really dumb, but I do think that this system has incredible benefits. And to show the benefits, I think actions speak louder than words on this one. Um, this is the chest of garbage that I'm going to be sorting. You can see here that the system goes through and it's got different categories. So it'll sort the red wool into here and the orange wool into here and so on and so forth. It's a multi-item sorter, which means that I could, if I wanted to sort andesite walls into this chest also, I could easily do that. But for this case, each of these filters just has one item in it. And then all of these random miscellaneous items will end up in the miscellaneous chest here at the end. So I'll just start the system and then I'll go over a little bit of how it works. So at its maximum efficiency, you can see that it is absolutely chewing through these items. It's going to work at over 2 times hopper speed at its most efficient, which I'll explain what that means in a little bit. But it's using minecarts, and it's got these hopper minecarts that are going through and pulling items out of here faster than even 2 times hopper speed could. And then these hopper minecarts are running away with the items and sending them through the sorter lightning fast, basically. So not only is it 2 times hopper speed for all of these chests, so you can see that the items are coming in here at 2 times hopper speed, but it's also sorting items in parallel. So you'll see that this is going to pull out some orange wool, and now it doesn't even have to wait until the red wool is done sorting. The orange wool is just going to end up in this chest. So the red wool is still sorting. It doesn't like clog up the system. So it can have multiple different chests or multiple different item types sorting at the exact same time, which is really cool. That parallel feature was greatly inspired by Metamilo's design. I was hugely inspired by Metamilo on this project and on his parallel cart multi-item sorter. I was also really inspired by Rapscallion's multi-item sorter and Maizuma's multi-item sorter. All of those guys are brilliant minds, and I'm standing on the shoulders of giants here with this design here. So I could not be here without the rest of the redstone minds in this community. It's really great. Um, I think I should probably explain how it works at this point. We've got the whole thing starts right here. So this is where the actual minecarts are being dispensed. And you'll see that as soon as the minecart gets dispensed, it gets filled up with 4 other hopper minecarts. And that is going to be a filter that it uses to come over here so that it only grabs 1 item out of this chest. And this timer right here, this purple circuit is a clock that goes around over and over, and it's just long enough that the minecart has enough time to pick up 33 items. Or it's slightly directional, so if you build it where this direction, let me get out of spectator mode. If you're facing north or east when you're looking at this chest, then it will only grab 32 items. But if you're facing west or south, it'll grab 33 items. It doesn't matter, as long as you're getting half a stack, you should be fine. So we've got the minecarts come down here, they grab the items, then they come up this bubble elevator, and then they head into the actual system here. And I've got an individual slice so that you can see it a little bit better. And what's happening is the minecarts are coming along and they're going through this track right here. So they're going along the soul sand on this track, and they're going through water, which is important because the water slows them down a little bit so that they can actually get caught by the slices. And it'll run under this filter. And remember, the minecart has 4 garbage items in it, so it's got 4 hopper minecarts and then only 1 regular item. So if that regular item matches this one, it'll pull it out, which will decrease this redstone signal by a little bit. The piston will retract and the minecart will fall down here. It's going to go over these 4 hoppers. And remember, it's got 4 filter items, so these 4 hoppers will pull out all of the filter items, which are all hopper minecarts. It's going to come up here, and then it's going to drop back off the item that it took out of here, which is going to reset the filter. And as soon as the filter is reset, another minecart can come through here. So if you see down here, oh, this is already done. So that just shows you how fast that is. You saw how much garbage was in these chests, and it's all sorted out here. You can see that everything has gone where it's supposed to, and then all of the miscellaneous garbage ends up back in here. So, I'll do the red wool, because the red wool's at the start. So if I send this off again, you'll see that as soon as the filter resets, another minecart instantly heads in there. So there's not very much leeway in here. I've kind of cranked out as much speed as possible from this design. So it would need an entire redesign of the slices in order to get any faster here. So back to here, it drops off the item and then it heads into this thing. And this thing is a cart yeeter, as it has been coined by Inspector Talon and Methods, who originally showed this design. Well, I don't know if it was this design, but they showed a cart yeeter. And the first place I saw this one was from Ilmango's channel. I'll link everybody. I want to give credit to everybody that helped inspire this design, or this sorter in any way, because I again, could not do it on my own. So it's going to send, the cart yeeter is going to send the hopper minecart down into this barrel, and then it's going to send all of the items at 2 times speed into this chest. And that's basically it. It's honestly very simple. The only redstone here is this. The rest of this is just like minecart manipulation stuff. This is, it only needs 2 pieces of redstone dust here. Like, come on, it's pretty simple. The rest of this, I mean, this is kind of complicated, but I'll go over how all of this works during this tutorial, which I'm going to get into now. Okay, so to start the tutorial, I'm going to have the same sort of chest setup that I had going on over there. This is going to sort 10 different types of items. So these 5 chests are going to be one type of item, these 5 chests are going to be another one, and then these ones down here are going to be miscellaneous ones that don't fit anything. So you've got 9 filters and then 1 miscellaneous section. You don't actually have to only do 10, you can keep expanding it, and then I'll even show you how you can like turn it and go off in a different direction if you want. The system's really robust. You just got to change the direction of the minecart rail basically. So I got nothing off the back. I'm going to start with this system right here, the input system, because it's the most complicated and I want to have a lot of space to be able to show you all the ins and outs of it. So we're going to start by taking a comparator output out of this chest, like that, and eventually we're going to have a minecart that comes out from this chest and it's going to go, can't quite remember which direction it's going to go, but that doesn't matter. Okay, it's going to actually go this way. So you're going to have block here, a torch there, and then we're going to build this shape right here with a repeater on 3 ticks, and then redstone dust across, and a torch here. So we've got this system right here. We can get rid of that for now. So what this does is, it's just an AND gate. We're going to have purple will be the next sequence, but you're going to start with something like that. I want to show off how this AND gate works. Basically, the input to the system is going to be, it's going to eventually come down here because the purple system is going to meet up right here. If I press this button now, you can see that nothing happens. That torch stays off. However, if I put a single item into this chest and then I press it, the torch goes on. So what this redstone or this red circuit is doing is making sure that a hopper minecart will only get dispensed if there's still stuff left in the chest. Once the chest runs out, there's not going to be any more carts dispensed into the system, and it will turn off. So that's what this red stuff is doing here. The next system that we're going to make is the purple, which is the clock, which will continuously dispense minecarts as long as there's items left in the chest. So we're going to do something like this. Three repeaters on 4-tick delay off of this torch, a redstone, and you've got to make sure that you click the redstone to turn it into a dot. It can't be the plus, it's got to be the dot. And then we're going to come down here with 4-tick repeater coming into a block with redstone, and then you're going to go down and bring this all the way across to here, put a repeater underneath this torch on 4 ticks, and put a repeater into this block with 3 ticks. You can get rid of this button now. We'll keep it for testing purposes, but link that all up with redstone, and that's about all the purple circuit, I think. There might be a little bit more up here, but we'll get into that later. So the purple system is basically just a clock. Okay, let's actually put an item in there to show how it works. So this is going to keep clocking around like this until all the items are gone, and then it's going to stop. And I actually remembered what this is for, and this is actually for the input into the dispenser. So the dispenser is going to go right here. So you've got this redstone dust that's going to go up onto the dispenser. The dispenser is going to shoot down onto a hopper, and this hopper is going to go in this direction, and then it's going to go in this direction. So you've got this hopper pointed here, and this hopper pointed to the left. Let's put in this minecart track for now with a block on the end. And then to power it, you're going to put a block right here. And then we're going to grab a lever and turn that on. So this is going to be the dispenser that has the hopper minecarts in it. It's going to dispense onto this rail. It's going to come down here, drop through the chest onto this rail. And then this is going to come over here eventually. And then it's going to go through here. Let's get rid of that. I actually don't know if it's going to turn there or not. I got to put in the yellow circuit next. So that goes on to the yellow circuit, where I'm going to need some droppers. So you're going to put a dropper, not there. The hopper should point into the dropper, and then you should have 5 droppers going up like that. And then to input into the dropper right there, or the dispenser, we're going to have a hopper like this, and then chests going up like this, with the final chest getting a hopper from the droppers here. So again, this should be a dispenser, and these should all be droppers. So now let's put in the redstone for the item elevator. So the item elevator is going to go like this. We're going to put a block behind this with a comparator coming out of it. And then that's going to go into a block like that with a redstone plus here. This one should be a plus. This one is a dot. I got to make that very clear because we want this block to be powered by this one and not this one. So we're going to have a block out of that with a repeater coming into this system like this with redstone on all of these. We're going to put a block here and a slab or other transparent block here with redstone up. So now you should have a functional item elevator here. Let's grab some hopper minecarts so that we can test it like we've tested with the other systems. And I'm just going to load this with hopper minecarts, and you should see that some of them will end up in the dispenser. I put 5 in here and only 4 ended up in here. That's because some of them get stuck in the item elevator. It doesn't matter how many get stuck in the item elevator. It also seems kind of random or directional or positional based on how many items get stuck in this elevator. As long as you get some into the dispenser, once this gets backed up, now if I put 5, I'll always end up with 5 in here. So once you get the first one stuck in here, it doesn't matter. So you don't really have to worry about it. Okay, now we've got the item elevator working. Let's go on to the last circuit, which is the locking circuit. And this one's kind of complicated, so we saved it for last. You're going to have a torch on here with a block out of it and another torch here. Then pointing into the block next to the redstone lamp, you're going to have a repeater on 4 ticks. And then this is going to staircase up like that. You're going to have a block here with a repeater out of this redstone on the purple circuit, so that we're going to be leeching some signal off of the clock, because this is going to activate on a clock and it's going to send it into the blue circuit. Let's have redstone up like this. We're going to put slabs here so that we don't interfere with this dropper and this hopper, with some redstone across. We're then going to build a pulse extender like this. We're going to put a block there, redstone out of that, and another comparator with a block just like that. So now you should see that if I press this button, this should all light up, and then it should take a little bit, and then it'll go away. The last little part of this circuit is we're going to branch out 4 more blocks here, take a sticky piston, pointed down, and an observer also pointed down like that. So now, when this system activates, you'll see that this will start the clock, and then it'll turn off once this pulse extender runs out. The very last thing that we have to do is we have to finish the minecart track. So we're going to pull it out like this. I'm going to grab some glass, some soul sand, some water, and we're going to start the elevator like this. Let me grab a little bit more of these and one of these. We're going to drag the rails across just like this into here. Don't put a rail on the soul sand because this is going to be a bubble elevator. So we're going to build this up until you get to, well, the track's going to come out like this. So we're going to build it up until we get to this level. So go to the piston, but then stop. Now we're going to fill up the whole thing with water, like this. And then we're going to grab some scaffolding and build something like this. So now we can take the path out like this, and this is where it's going to meet up with the rest of the storage system. So the minecart will eventually run on this lane right here. Well, I already have one, and then it's going to turn and it's going to go in there. So let's power up all of the different sections now. So that doesn't have to be a transparent block. It's just what I had on my hand. And then we're going to power each of these circuits with a lever in this position and one in this little nook down here. So that should be the entire hopper system working, or the entire hopper minecart system working. So I'm going to build this so that I can show you that it's all working. I do have hopper minecarts on me, good. Let me fill this whole thing up. So that should be filling this all up. And then if I take like 4 stacks of blue wool and I hit this button, we should see that 4 chests come through. Oh, something is not working. This isn't very good. Okay. Let me figure out what I did wrong. And then I should make you all aware of what I did wrong. Give me 1 second here. Oh, I see. I forgot a repeater. There we go. Okay, that's all that was missing. That's not that hard. Just remember to put a repeater here on 4 ticks. That was all that was missing. So What this blue circuit should actually do is make sure that this piston is constantly extended so that we don't have that problem where it was sending another pulse through the clock so that the clock was going twice as fast. That's a problem, and now it's fixed with that repeater right there. So we'll try this again. I should be able to demonstrate it working this time, but that's why we test things. It's good to test something right now so that we can easily see if it works or not before we plug it up to the rest of the machine. We'll start it by hitting the button, and you should see that the cart will come through here. It'll grab 33 or 32 items, and then as soon as this chest is empty, it'll stop dispensing. So we've got our 4 carts that each had 32 to 33 items, and we're good to go. I realized after the tutorial that I didn't really explain very well what this blue circuit does, so I thought I should do that now. This blue circuit is basically there so that you can't accidentally break the entire system. You saw in the little blooper that I had where I was forgetting this pesky little repeater that I accidentally sent 2 pulses through this purple circuit, through this clock, and it was dispensing minecarts way too fast and it was ruining the whole thing. And that's what this blue system, if I built it correctly, was supposed to prevent. So you'll see in the front that we've got a button with a redstone lamp on it, and you might notice that if the system is sorting items, that lamp is going to stay on. So this lamp is going to be on the entire time that the system is sorting items. Let me pull a couple of those out. So once this is fully emptied, you'll see that the light actually turns off. And as long as the light is on and the system is sorting items, I can press this button as many times as I want. And because of this pulse extender up here, I'm not breaking anything. So this piston with the observer right here will only send a pulse through the system when it extends, and this pulse extender is keeping the piston extended. So if I press it now, it's going to extend, and then if I press it again, it's not going to do anything because the pulse extender is still powering it. And yeah, that's the point of the blue circuit. So back to the tutorial. So now we're ready to start on the hopper system. So you can probably imagine we're going to start by sticking a hopper into the back of all of these chests. Whoops, that one's facing the wrong way. Make sure all of these hoppers are actually pointing into the chest. Make sure you didn't misclick any. I went pretty fast. Maybe you should take a little bit more time though. Well, you probably will because you're doing it in survival. Next, we're going to put a hopper on top of this one. Then we're going to build this hopper line all the way out here. I'm going to grab a barrel. And then for each of these slices, I'm going to put a barrel on top of here. I'm also going to, if I want this bottom slice to be the miscellaneous items, I'm going to need a barrel right here, I believe. Then we're going to have this. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, into the back of all of these, you're going to want to put hoppers. And then, sorry, I'm trying to figure it out from memory here. We're going to need a barrel on this one. So go to the very end of your line, or I guess you could also do this at the very start of your line, and then put a barrel on the first one, and then a hopper on the second one. And then you're going to alternate that going down here. So barrel, hopper, barrel, hopper, and the hopper should point into the barrel. And then you're going to build up these hoppers like this. And then on top of these barrels, we're going to put another line of hoppers. And on top of these ones, we're going to put another line of barrels. Now we got something like this. On top of all of these, we're going to put another line of hoppers. I know, this is quite a bit. So you should have hopper, barrel, hopper in the back here. And then you're going to put hoppers like this. Wherever there's a gap, you're going to put a hopper. Just like that. Okay. After that, we are going to, this is where the minecart will be broken. So let me mark this out for my own sake. That's where a hopper is going to be. And then the other hopper is going to be here. Okay, so at the start, we've got the barrels for the bottom section on the first one. And then for the top section, we're going to have it on the second one. So go to the start of your system again and put a barrel on the second one and a hopper on the first one. And then do the whole alternating barrels and hoppers thing again. So we're going to do this with a barrel and a hopper. And then with all of these ones, you are going to just put another hopper straight down. Sweet. And that should be all of the hoppers in place. Oh, except for these ones that I forgot. You're going to put a line of hoppers going into these barrels in the back. And you're going to put 4 long. And that's actually all of the hoppers that you're going to need until the very end. So I'm going to store those hoppers away for use at the very, very end of the system. Let's start down here. You're going to need soul sand on all of these. And then you're going to put minecart tracks across like this. So you're going to stripe all of these with minecarts. And then you're actually going to break the ones that were on top of the soul sand. And if you're in survival, these will go into this hopper, which will go into this barrel, which will come across this entire line, go into this item elevator, and end up in these chests. So those rails that you just broke will end up in here, and some of them will even get stuck in the dropper elevator. So when you're done with the whole thing, make sure that you clean out this dropper elevator before starting the system, because you don't want these rails to mess with anything, or any other blocks that fall in here for that matter. So make sure that before you start running the system, you're going to clean out this dropper elevator. Okay, back to the thing. I'm going to grab some white wool and block the back of these tracks. And then on top of these tracks, we're going to put some soul sand. Another layer of soul sand, and you'll see that this meets up right here. I'm going to grab a lever, and I'm going to power all of these. And then I'm going to run another line of powered rails across. Now actually, this last block, this is going to be the miscellaneous items. So we actually don't need soul sand here, or we don't want soul sand here. Instead, we're going to put a mud block, because we still do want to be able to power this block so that we can power this, but we don't want bubbles to spawn, because eventually we're going to put water across all these. So a mud block is perfect for this. Next, we're going to grab some glass. Doesn't have to be glass, but it's nice to be able to see what's going on for debugging purposes if something decides to break later, which you never know. It could break. I've done a lot of testing. I've tested it in survival, on multiplayer, and it does work. I tested it on the realm that me and my friends play on, and it has been working. I haven't run into any problems there. So that doesn't mean that it's not ever going to break, but I just have not encountered it breaking. So fill these all up with water. You're going to need some scaffolding here. And then put the scaffolding like this. So that the minecart will be able to get picked up on these rails. And then you're actually going to... Okay, now we need to put the cauldrons in. So, if the line of hoppers has 3, you put it in the middle. If it's got 2, you put it in the back. So just alternate like this. Then with these ones in the back, we are going to take a composter, because you can prevent lag by putting a composter on top of a hopper that's never going to suck any items out of the top of it. So now that we've got something like this, we'll put mud blocks, or actually, before we do that, let's grab a bucket of lava and fill up all the cauldrons. And then we're going to put a mud block on top of all of these. And then we're going to put a regular block on top of all of these. Kind of hard to place them because mud blocks aren't full blocks. Okay, so now that we've got this, we are going to just finish off the cart eater by putting some rails on each of these. We're going to grab some glass and cover these up. So make sure that none of your rails can interfere with the other ones, because these are where all the items are going to be dropping out. And then you're going to grab a slab and put that on top of all the rails. Next, in line with this, you're going to put a block like this, and then you're going to alternate that. So I'm just going to build this all the way across. And then on the ones that have a hop or a slab coming out, I'm going to put another block. We've got this zigzag pattern here, and then I'm going to take an amethyst cluster and put that on the back of each of these. So that's going to set up the cart eater, which we are going to connect up with the rest of these power rails. So now we've got the cart eater in place. It's time to actually apply the redstone for each of these slices. So the cart's going to come across and it's going to go under chests like this. So you're going to put your chests in like keep this. And on the last slice, make sure that you don't put a chest, because you actually don't need a chest, because that's going to be miscellaneous items. Before you put in the chests, it might actually be kind of smart to do the rest of this. I'm going to bring some blocks across like this. I'm going to grab a target, a sticky piston, a comparator, and a slab for this next part, and redstone. There it is. So we're going to put the target blocks across like this. I'm going to put the pistons across like this. I'm going to put, let me use a different block for this because this is a different redstone circuit, and I like to label the redstone circuits with different blocks. Put blocks across like this. Slabs behind the pistons. Another block across. And then down here, we're going to build this pattern with redstone coming across like this. I missed a little bit in there. We'll just get it all in there. Okay, nice. Then comparators up like this. So that's actually all of the redstone done at this point. I'm going to get rid of these chests for now, actually. This is going to be a lot simpler if those chests aren't there. And I'm going to grab some stairs. I'm going to put a block right here to stop some water. I'm just going to use glass. And then wherever there's a rail, you're going to put a stair. So you've got the rails like that. I'm going to block something like that and something like that so that the water doesn't flow out. And then go grab a whole bunch of water. Let me block off the end too, just to make sure that water doesn't go everywhere. And then you're going to put water on the mud, and you're going to waterlog all of the rails, including this rail in the front, but not the second one. So the rail one in front of the last slice should be waterlogged. And then you're going to come through and waterlog all of the stairs too. So now you should have something like that. I'm going to put all the chests back, because now I could actually... Now I don't have anything else to do in there. I apologize for telling you to put the chest down, and you shouldn't have. But we're now going to put some blocks like this, because the rails are going to have to go across. And this one, you can just block it completely off, because this rail doesn't actually have to go across anywhere. And we're going to need hoppers, and we're going to need walls. So I'm going to put the hoppers on top of the chests like this. Whoops. And then I'm going to put rails on top of these. And I'm going to break these rails. and I'm going to put walls. The final thing, you have to power these rails. So I'm going to put a block over the top of the diagonal rail like that, and then put a lever on and power it. So that should be the entire system done. Now all you need to do is the filters. So I shouldn't have said that's the entire system done because there's still one more step to do. I'm going to grab a non-stackable item, and then you should rename this item right here. So I'm going to grab an anvil. I'm going to call this filter with some random text so that I don't get it mixed up. You're going to put 3 non-stackables, then you're going to fill up the entire chest with filters, and then put 5 here. And you should hear the piston extend once the entire thing's full. So let me speed through that really quick. Okay, that's all of the filters in place. You should see that all of your pistons are extended, and we should be just about ready to send some minecarts through the system. First, we're going to need to actually program all the filters. So I'm going to do it the same way that I did the other one. I'm going to have red, orange, yellow, green. I do know the rainbow. Like this. And then the last filter is going to be white. So I'm going to put red in there. I'm going to put orange in here. Yellow in here. Green in here. That wasn't green. I did it again. There we go. And now the last filter is going to be the black wool. And we should be able to see, if we grab those same ones, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god. I do know the rainbow, guys. I do know the rainbow. And we're going to grab one last stack of an item that we didn't filter. And if everything goes according to plan, we should see the entire system working. So we're going to dispense the minecart. Let's make sure that this has enough minecarts in it. We've got our red wool going. Okay, our red should end up in here. Next, we're going to have the orange go through. Nice. Okay. I think that everything is actually working. I'm pleasantly surprised that the only mistake really was this little repeater. Okay, again, before you should have started the minecarts going, you should have checked to make sure that this item elevator didn't have any garbage in it. And then you should have also made sure that this chest was full of minecarts. The wider that you make the system, if you make the system really, really, really long so that a bunch of minecarts are in the system all at once, you might want to add more minecarts than just this chest. If you fill this chest to about 4 layers thick, it'll be perfect for this 10 slice system. But if you want to expand the system even further, there's enough minecart storage to make a slice for every single item in the game, probably. Maybe not that much, but if you're making a multi-item sorter, you don't want to have a slice for every single item in the game anyway. So let's check. Red, orange, yellow, green. See, I knew it that time. I knew it was going to be green. And everything works. So that is the tutorial for this whole system. If you wanted to expand it, which you might want to if you end up with more items that you want to sort, you can add this whole system again. So you can do this, grab one of these, replace this with soul sand, power that, and then you're just going to replace the end of it with another burner slice or another miscellaneous slice. But you could also do this, which is take this minecart track, turn it, and then start another section going right here. So if you wanted to be surrounded on all sides by chests, you could totally do that. all you got to do is take the minecart out of here. Instead of putting a miscellaneous filter, just come out here, turn it, and then keep going. But the last section that your minecart lands on should be a miscellaneous filter, just so that it doesn't break anything. So let me put that back. I'll grab mud here with a lever and something like that. So that, you saw that lever just went through the system. That is bad. We're going to have to pull that back out to make sure that we don't end up with a lever anywhere that we don't want it. So that is everything. I hope this was helpful to you. I'm really happy that I was finally able to make this video, and yeah, happy building. I'll update the description with any bug fixes or any things that I figured out that I missed in post, and yeah, have a great day.